The San Antonio Spurs just stole, flat out highway robbery stole De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings for just 2 first-round picks. This year's the 2025 first and a 2027 first for De'Aaron Fox. And you know what my first thought was? Hey, Victor Wembanyama, your honeymoon just ended. Now you're going to be held accountable because your all-time great stats aren't translating into winning. Wemby, your team, as we speak, is 21-25. And now you got your all-star running mate. You got your new pick and roll partner for the next 5, 10, who knows, 12 years. It's you two. And actually, Victor, it's just you. What you got? We got to see the stats translate into one-loss record. We got to see you get on a roll here. We got to see you make a playoff run because as we speak, you're not even in the playoffs at 21-25. You're not even in the play-in. I love De'Aaron Fox. I've had the privilege of hanging around De'Aaron Fox on TV. High character, natural born scorer. What a smooth artist of a scorer is De'Aaron Fox. He's averaging right now 25, 5, and 6. He's not an assist artist of the highest order, but can he ever put the ball in the basket? Did he ever catch my eye? Because I was a Lonzo Ball fan. That night in 2017, Sweet 16 game at Memphis. Do you remember this? Kentucky, UCLA. Kentucky won 86-75 because De'Aaron Fox cooked poor Lonzo Ball that night. Cooked him for 39 points. Lonzo had 10 and 8 assists. Lonzo was going through a big off-the-court issue because he just found out his mom had a very, very serious, terrible stroke. He was shook. His family couldn't be there with him. But 39? Because De'Aaron said, watch this. 2 years ago, De'Aaron Fox was an all-star for Sacramento. 2 years ago, De'Aaron Fox was chosen the clutch player of the year in the NBA because he is supremely clutch. Nobody, except maybe Kyrie, do I want the ball in his hands with the game on the line. And remember that run he had over 2 years against LeBron and the Lakers when De'Aaron's Kings won against the Kings over King. De'Aaron's Kings won 7 of 8 games over a 2-year stretch in which De'Aaron averaged 31, 4, and 7. So say 31 and 7 assists against LeBron and company. 7 out of 8 wins, mostly because of De'Aaron Fox just taking over games late. He's a star. He's a one-time All-Star. He's going to be a 2, 3, 4-time All-Star. And the beauty of this deal for the Spurs is, as they rebuild, they kept all their young potential near stars. I'm not saying anybody's going to make an all-star game, but Vassell is still there. And Keldon Johnson is still there. And Stephon Castle, every time I watch him, he gets better and better. What physicality. What hops. What power scoring. Whew. Stephon Castle, they kept him. They didn't have to give him up. Harrison Barnes is 32 now, but he's contributing, and I think he could contribute for another couple of years. Sohan is 12, 8, and 3. They kept him. They kept all of the above. And now they've added De'Aaron Fox. They lost Zach Collins, okay, and the kid that they took in the second round a couple of years ago from France, okay. But for 2 firsts, the San Antonio Spurs got De'Aaron Fox. They are legit now. Within a year, they should be a legit Western Conference contender because they have Victor freaking Wembanyama, the greatest shot blocker in the history of the NBA. I've already seen enough. I proclaim him the greatest shot blocker ever. Look at this right now. As we speak, Victor has 159 blocks. Second is Anthony Davis, now a Dallas Maverick, at 90, tied with Brook Lopez at 90. They're almost 70 blocks behind Wemby as we speak. 159 to 90. What? That's ridiculous. He did this last year. Only Chet, who's out now, Chet Holmgren, was second, but he lapped him. He just obliterated Chet last year, and Chet wound up second in blocks because Chet is really good at blocking and altering shots. But Wemby is in a league of his own. He is the greatest ever. But I've said this, I'm going to say it again. He's 11 rebounds per game, which ranks 8th. But in offensive rebounds, Wemby is 2 per game. That ranks 45th. No physicality whatsoever. He just gets it on sheer length and agility, athletic ability. He's extremely long, obviously at whatever we're going to call him, 7'3" or 4, 7'3". Extreme length with no physicality. You can say, well, he's a baby. I'm thinking the lack of physicality is always going to be a want from Wemby fans that's never going to quite be there. I hope I'm wrong, but only 2 offensive rebounds, ranks 45th. Defensive win shares. Wemby, as we speak, is 43rd in the NBA. That's just wrong. If you can block and alter that many shots and you're 43rd, somehow you're just roaming around and whoever you're supposed to be guarding is hurting you and your team. I'm sorry, that's not good enough for 7'3" and that long and that agile with that kind of shot blocking timing. The gift of shot blocking, the greatest ever. And you know how I feel about him shooting threes. He shoots 9 threes per game, does Wemby, as we speak. 9 threes per game. That ranks 9th. So he's top 10 in attempted threes at 7'3". That's insane. But he runs the franchise now. He does pretty much what he wants. And from what I'm told by people who know the inside of that franchise, they've just given up and given in. That's who he's going to be. That's who he was when he came to them. He shoots threes. He'll wind up shooting, averaging 10 a game. And I will give him this. He has slightly improved this year from 33% on three-point shots to up to 36. That still ranks 103rd in the league, so it's not great. It's maybe not pathetic the way it was last year. He can have pathetic games where he'll go 2 of 12, and we'll see a lot of those in times to come. But I need to see more from Wemby now. He has a legit bona fide star in concert with him on a nightly basis. A high character, high quality artiste of a scorer picking and rolling with him. De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. Congratulations, Spurs. You stole him for next to nothing given the magnitude of his talent and impact. He knows how to win basketball games. I've seen it. Sacramento is going to miss him. I know through the three-way, they got Zach LaVine. No, they will begin to fade without De'Aaron Fox. He was the king of the kings. He will become the co-king of the Spurs. Wemby, you're on, pal. This is it. They went and got you what you needed, exactly, precisely what you needed. You kept all your young potential sort of near stars. You now have, I know Chris Paul's still there, obviously on his last legs, but now De'Aaron into the future will sign with the Spurs long term. It's you two with a lot of really good young players up and coming around you. You should have the makings of a championship team in San Antonio, Wemby, but it's up to you. You're the star of stars. You're the superstar. De'Aaron's just a star. You have superstar magnitude to you. Let's see it. Let's see it translate onto the scoreboard and into the one-loss column. 21 and 25 for you with these numbers is shameful. It's pathetic. It's ridiculous. I've been saying it over and over again. And the Spurs, and I'm sure R.C. Buford had something to do with this, even though he's been graduated upstairs. This is an R.C. special. You went and got a 27-year-old star who wanted to be with you side by side in San Antonio going into the future. You got it, Wemby. Congratulations to the Spurs, but you're on the clock, pal. I dare say you're on the hot seat. I'm going to be holding you to a much higher standard than I have because your honeymoon just ended.